Hey everyone, if you're thinking about whether you should use Teams or Enterprise right now, then maybe in the next 5 minutes, I can help you figure that out. You see, I think the thing to think about when it comes to the Teams and Enterprise plans is that Teams is the operational layer and Enterprise is the security layer. And apart from that, there aren't that many differences in features, but there's a few important caveats that I want to explain in this video. So as I said, Teams is kind of where your group or firm can do most of their work day to day. But in comparison, Enterprise is much more about governance, security, and making sure that you can do certain things you'd expect in your enterprise firm. So the most common myth that I tend to hear when we're consulting for clients is that we need Enterprise for SSO. The key thing here is that you don't, because both plans cover everything. You have single sign-on in Claude Teams and you have single sign-on in Enterprise as well. And if you're worried about just-in-time provisioning, role-based permissions, it all comes in the Teams plan, so you don't need to go and have a huge expense straight away if you're not ready to take that step. If somebody's telling you that Enterprise is the only way to get a secure login, you should probably think about who you're talking to, because at the end of the day, both plans offer both and you don't need to do Enterprise straight away. So I guess the main question is, well, what does Enterprise actually add? And there's 4 things and they're very, very, very specific. So the first one is SCIM provisioning. So if you have IT management at scale, you're a huge firm and you need that kind of control, then Enterprise is definitely the right approach for this kind of project. If you also want exportable audit logs and that paper trail of things that people have been doing, Enterprise is also probably going to be the right pick here. Although Teams does have an audit log, it's only for so long and it isn't as detailed as an Enterprise team or somebody who's working in a compliance sensitive field would need. Another one that is kind of important, but maybe not specifically for your team, is custom-based encryption keys, and then also AI inference on Anthropic servers. So when we use Claude and we use the chat, sometimes it's going to send us requests from the US, sometimes it might do it in Europe because I'm closer to the Europe server. But if all of your data and all of your chat logs need to go through US-based servers, then it's definitely the Enterprise plan that you'll want to take for this one. And then there's a couple of tiny caveats as well, like if you want specific network level access and IP allow listing, then Enterprise is going to be the pick here, as the Teams plan doesn't offer those features. As well as if you want to be HIPAA compliant, you're going to need to sign a BAA with Anthropic, and that's definitely worth going through the Enterprise route, as the requests and replies to you will be 10 times faster than going through normal support channels. And in general, if you want that more high touch, better support, direct contact inside the Anthropic team, you're definitely going to want to pick Enterprise in this case. The main thing to talk about here and the difference between the two is the billing model, and this is where people usually get caught out. The team fee is $25 per person or $100 for your power users, but you can turn this on and off specifically for certain users who are using the app a lot. Most team members will only need to use the $25 billing flat. You just turn on the $100 a month plan for those who are really using Claude and have a lot of token usage. Enterprise is going to bill a little bit differently, and it's more like a traditional vendor. It's a yearly seat-based plan and you're using API usage instead of the bundled in token usage that Teams offer. And if you've heard all of those stories about my team or my company has burnt millions of dollars in tokens, this is the most important part, because you are directly paying for tokens with Enterprise in comparison to Teams, where they're highly subsidized and used efficiently by Anthropic, meaning that they're giving you tokens for free on top of your plan and you're not paying direct cost of what your team's doing day to day. It's worth saying that both plans do allow you to set spend caps, usage limits, and as well as that, budgets, so you can keep your costs under control and not have any weird surprises at the end. The main kind of difference here is one is paying a direct cost to Anthropic or a subsidized cost for the Teams plan. So when does Enterprise make the right kind of call? Well, it's more about what you're doing inside Claude. If you have highly secretive, confidential information, you're probably going to want to go to Enterprise just for the extra security controls and the ability to have a more granular control over how Claude works and how your team accesses it as well. This is especially true if your team is larger than 150 people, which is a hard cap limit set by Anthropic. And as well as that, if you feel like the token usage might go up and down rather quickly, but not too high. And when to stay on Teams? Well, it's if you're under 150 people and you're just starting with Claude, I would highly recommend starting on a Teams plan. It's worth building out all the infrastructure first, figuring out those little caveats of what goes right and what goes wrong, and what burns tokens as well from the work that your team are doing. Once you're really sure of that and you understand the platform more and you've built out a more mature Claude trained team, then it's more worth having the conversation of, okay, do we now need the extra security controls and the ability to have a more granular access for the team at large? And hey, if you're not getting audited every day or have really strict compliance regulation, you should be fine. And most private equity and venture capital firms that we work with will start with Teams and then slowly upgrade to Enterprise if the need arises in the future. So here's the practical start. Go with Teams, begin with that, and then if you find that you need to, due to compliance or security, upgrade to Enterprise after. It's a real supported workspace and offers all of the features that you would get inside Enterprise without the security aspect. And with the subsidized tokens, it usually makes sense from a budget perspective, especially when you're just starting out and trying new things. That's the real difference between Claude Teams and Enterprise. And we're going to put a few links in the description if you need any more information. And you're also welcome to book a call with one of our team members who will happily explain what this is and which one to start with as well. This is everything that we do for clients at claudetraining.com. So if that sounds interesting as well, check out the link in the comments. Thanks for watching the video. Let us know if you have any other questions down below and we'll happily make another video explaining more about Claude.